Please give a huge round of applause, stamp your feet, give me some whoops, with her speech entitled, How Do You Identify Yourself? Ayesha, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi everyone, thanks for that great introduction. So, I'll start off. How do you identify yourself? So, this is actually a question that was given to me. I answered, I'm British Pakistani. So which is it? British and Pakistani, or Pakistani and British? Which comes first? I have never been so stumped to answer a question in my life. That was at 16 years old. I'd never questioned my identity up until that point. I just assumed I'm British. I've lived here, worked here, studied here. All my friends and family are from here. So it was a strange question to me. I've never even been to Pakistan. I know that it's intrinsically part of me because that's where my heritage is from. But it's a strange concept. It seemed as if putting one in front of the other meant that one was more important than the other. And it seemed to kind of infer where my loyalty was. So strange, like I've never thought of it like that. If, to put it a little bit more mundane, you're a pianist and you're a kickboxer. Which one is more you? It's so strange, such a strange concept. Being Black, Asian, or minority, BAME, we are obviously in the minority in the UK. And it feels like a lot of these questions are aimed at us a lot. What do we identify as? And we have a lot more to prove to ourselves too. This sort of question of identity came up recently through the Windrush scandal. So obviously, I think most people know what it is when people, or the people that came over from the Caribbean, were invited over to the UK. They were invited over to the UK when the UK actually needed a workforce. So they were desperate for a skilled workforce. So many of these people came over as doctors, nurses, left their homes and came and gave their whole lives to this country and have lived an entire, the whole lifestyle, like 50, 60 years, giving to the front line of Britain. They worked as doctors and nurses, skilled tradesmen, and built up the economy of the UK. And now with Amber Rudd having to meet targets, we have seen so many of these people and their identities questioned, whether they're British enough, all based on whether we have the correct paperwork. And it just made me question, is this what's going to come down, what it will come down to for me, like in about 20, 30 years? Will I have to prove my Britishness? Will there be paperwork missing and then therefore I'm no longer British? Because I know I'm not Pakistani enough to go back to Pakistan. So I'm either too British for Pakistan or I'm too Pakistani for Britain, so it's very confusing. So hopefully, I'm hoping now we have some better representation. There's now Sajid Javid. He is hopefully somebody who can empathise with the BAME population, because we make up 14% of the population now. And for me now, you do feel a bit alienated. You're like, oh, where do I actually fit in this sort of current climate with Brexit and with Trump politics and all this stuff? So Sajid Javid is like the epitome of, well, he can empathise a lot more with the Windrush scandal. He has come over, sorry, start again. He's an immigrant son. His dad came over from Pakistan, lived here for his whole life as a bus driver, and he's become ingrained into British culture. He's actually become a politician. I mean, I don't know how much more integrated or part of Britain you have to be to become a politician. And he so aptly kind of put it, and he summarised everyone's feelings, I think, if you are a BAME in terms of Windrush. It could be my mom, it could be my dad, it could be me. So that's it.